Queen Uju looked at herself in the mirror and frowned. She was beautiful. She was powerful. She was the queen of the land. But there was one thing she wanted more than anything. She wanted to have the biggest nyansh in the entire kingdom. Not just big. She wanted it wide, strong, unforgettable. She touched her hips and sighed. Everybody in the market admired her. All the chiefs in the palace respected her. But still, it was not enough. It all started the night a young village girl named Amara came to the palace to dance. The king had invited dancers to entertain his guests. The courtyard was full of music and laughter. Drums were beating, flutes were playing, palm wine was flowing. One by one, the dancers came forward. They shook their waists, they moved their feet. The crowd clapped, but nobody was amazed. Then Amara stepped forward. She was only a simple girl from the village. She wore beads around her waist. Her feet were bare. But the moment she began to dance, everyone became quiet. Her waist moved like water. Her nyansh moved like magic. The drums beat louder and faster, as if they were following her body. Her dance caught every eye in the courtyard. Even the king forgot to drink his palm wine. His mouth opened, and he kept watching her. He clapped louder than all the chiefs when she finished. Queen Uju saw it. She saw how her husband's eyes followed Amara until she left. She saw how he ignored the other dancers. That night, when the drums stopped and the palace was silent, Queen Uju could not sleep. She lay on her royal bed and stared at the ceiling. Anger burned her chest. The king was hers. The palace was hers. How dare a village girl steal the king's eyes with only her waist? By morning, she had made her decision. She sat up, her wrapper falling loosely around her. She clapped her hands once. Jadika, her maid, came running and bowed low. "My queen, you called me." Queen Uju's voice was cold. "Take me to the old woman that lives behind the forbidden forest." And Jadika froze. Her hands shook. "My queen, that woman is not of this world. They say she gives charms, but she always asks for something in return." "I do not care," Queen Uju said firmly. "Let her ask for anything. I want the kind of nyansh that will make the king forget his own name." Jadika fell on the ground, begging, "My queen, please. That place is cursed. Even hunters avoid the forest. Do not go there." But Queen Uju's mind was made up. Pride was stronger than fear. That same evening, she covered herself with a black cloak. The moon was high. Kikison. Jadika carried a lantern, her hands shaking as she led the way. The path was long and narrow. The forest was dark. Strange sounds followed them. Twice, Jadika wanted to run back, but Queen Uju forced her to move forward. At last, they reached a small hut hidden among tall, twisted trees. The roof was old and patched with leaves. The walls were blackened with smoke. Before they could knock, the door creaked open. The old woman came out. Her back was bent. Her skin was wrinkled. Her smile showed no teeth, but her eyes were sharp, shining faintly in the moonlight. "I know why you are here," she said, her voice rough like dry pepper. Queen Uju raised her chin proudly. "Then give it to me. Name your price." The old woman chuckled. She went inside, then returned with a small brown bottle. The liquid inside was dark and thick. "You will drink this," she said. "Half tonight, half before the next moon. After that, you'll have what you want." Queen Uju's eyes narrowed. "And the price?" The old woman leaned close, her face only inches away. "You will know when the time comes." For a moment, the forest was silent. No crickets, no owls, only Jadika's heavy breathing. But Queen Uju did not care. She snatched the bottle from the woman's hand and turned to leave. As she walked away, the old woman laughed softly and whispered into the night, "Let the drums of sorrow begin." That night, the palace was very quiet. Even the guards outside did not talk loudly. Inside her room, Queen Uju sat on her big bed. In front of her, on the table, was the small brown bottle the old woman gave her. She kept looking at it. The oil lamps in the room were shaking, and the shadows on the wall looked like they were alive. The drink inside the bottle was dark and heavy, moving as if it had a spirit. Jadika, her maid, was kneeling at the corner of the room. Her hands were shaking, and her eyes were full of tears. "My queen," she said softly. Please, let us throw it away. That old woman is dangerous. Her smile was not the smile of a human being. Please, don't drink it. Queen Uju turned and looked at her. Her eyes were strong and full of anger. Njadika, she said, do you want me to sit here while a small village girl dances and steals my husband's eyes? Do you want me to remain like this while people laugh behind me? No, tonight I will change. She picked up the bottle. The cork opened with a sharp sound, and a strange smell filled the room. It smelled bitter, sour, and old, like something that came from the graveyard. Njadika covered her nose. Queen Uju raised the bottle to her lips. For a moment she paused, then she drank half of it. At once, she coughed and held her chest. The drink burned her throat like fire. It felt heavy in her stomach. Njadika rushed forward, crying, my queen, but Uju pushed her away. Her eyes shone strangely, and slowly she began to laugh. It was not her normal laugh. It sounded deeper, almost like two people laughing together. By midnight, she could not sleep. Her body was hot. She felt something moving inside her. Then it started. Her hips began to tingle, as if many ants were walking under her skin. Her wrapper tightened until it almost tore. When she stood up, the wooden floor made a loud creak, as if it could no longer carry her weight. Njadika gasped. My queen, it has started. Queen Uju walked to her bronze mirror. Her reflection looked back at her, but something was wrong. When she raised her hand, the reflection moved a little slower. It was not copying her at the same time. Her hips were now rounder. Her waist was fuller. She smiled slowly and touched her body. She turned to Njadika. Do you see me now? This is only the beginning. Suddenly, the shadows on the wall moved. One shadow was bigger than all the others. It had wider hips than Queen Uju herself. And in a sharp, low voice, it whispered, this is only the beginning. Njadika screamed and covered her face. But Queen Uju only smiled more, proud of what she was becoming. The next morning, the palace was full of whispers. Servants were sweeping the courtyard when Queen Uju came out of her room. She walked slowly, her steps heavy, her wrapper pressing tightly against her body. Everyone stopped working. The guards turned their heads and stared. One servant carrying water forgot himself and spilled it on the ground. Another dropped her broom. Queen Uju's shape was no longer the same. Her hips had widened. Her waist had grown fuller. The wrapper she wore looked like it was fighting to stay tied. When she moved, it was like the whole palace moved with her. The king was in the royal hall, eating cola nuts with his chiefs. But when Queen Uju entered, the room went silent. The king's hand froze in the air. His cola nut fell to the floor. His mouth opened, but no words came out. Uju, what are you wearing? He asked, though she was dressed the same as always. Queen Uju smiled. Do you like it, my husband? The king could not answer. He just kept staring. The chiefs looked at one another and shifted in their seats, afraid to speak. That was the beginning. Before long, the whole palace was talking. From the smallest servant to the highest chief, everyone whispered about the queen. Her walk was like thunder. Her presence filled every room. When she entered the courtyard, the drummers started playing without being told, as if her steps commanded the rhythm. In the marketplace, children sang songs about her. The queen walks slowly, the ground shakes. The queen walks slowly, the ground obeys. Men praised her. Women envied her. Some said it was a blessing. Some said it was witchcraft. But every night, when Queen Uju tried to sleep, something strange happened. She would close her eyes, but then she would hear a voice. Finish the bottle. At first it was soft like the wind. The second night it grew louder. By the third night, it sounded as if someone was standing right beside her bed. Njadika heard it too. She covered her head with her wrapper and prayed, but still the voice kept coming. One night, Queen Uju woke up and looked at the wall. Her shadow was moving. She raised her hand, but the shadow did not follow her. It moved on its own. Slowly, its hips grew wider, larger than hers, and it whispered again. Finish the bottle. Njadika screamed and ran to her side. But Queen Uju only smiled, her eyes glowing in the dim light. My power is only beginning, she said. The kingdom has not seen anything yet.